was a little hot there. All right, there we go.
Yeah, buddy, I was wondering how my weekend could get any better and or worse after yesterday. You know, the tire exploding off my car.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just wonder what could make it worse. And then Pete, when we put Pete to bed, he was just like, the only term I could use is screaming.
Yeah.
He was screaming that he, you know, and we couldn't get any sleep. The missus was like, "Can you get him?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I can stay up. It's not a big deal." I mean, and I'm sitting here, and the second I got him out of his kennel, he was just like, "Oh, okay," and he just laid down and started relaxing. So I started relaxing. The second I started dozing off, he got up and was like, "I'm gonna get into some shit."
Oh God.
I'm like, this dog is like my test.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to get a new go get a new tire because you saw what happened to the other one. It basically unpeeled itself. So
fantastic.
Yeah, so how has your week been?
No, it hasn't been too bad. I mean, yeah, nothing really noteworthy. Just sad.
Well, I guess it's better than something bad happening, you know?
Yeah.
So we have some Destiny stuff to talk about, I'm quite sure.
Yeah, we got a couple things.
Little event going on right now.
Yeah. A little bit of things.
I might have not a rant, I should say, maybe a definite, yeah, it's going to be a rant, I'm not going to lie. So, what do you say we get started there, buddy?
That we certainly can.
So, do you want to do the TWAB, or do you want to start with the event? How do you want to do this?
We can start with TWAB, I suppose.
Okay. I'll let you get that up as Pete looks at me and goes, "Oh, I'm gonna make a loud noise right now, okay?" I can see it in your eyes. I'm just waiting.
If my computer can stop being an utter piece of crap right now, that would be fantastic. There we go. All right, so TWAB. One thing they talk about is the fact that Solstice of Heroes is live. Hi.
It is, indeed.
Yay. Let's see. They do have like an interesting mock-up for the entire for some interesting stats in season 3.
Oh yeah.
Just like I said, when it comes, apparently Destiny 2's population is a lot of hunters.
I did notice that. A whole lot of hunters, actually.
Because they break down who pledged to what faction by class. And hunters are always at the top by like double everyone else. New monarchy.
Mm.
Not double, but Jesus Christ. Like, what? Anyhow. Some very interesting things. Like, there's apparently been 6.4 million normal raid clears. And 700,000-ish prestige raid clears.
Mm-hmm.
I do find it interesting there's been 1.6 billion Leviathan kills.
Is that
wow.
That would be Callus being killed, or is that in the Leviathan raid?
Oh, yeah, that's just kills in the raid.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, just some very, very interesting stats. Such as the fact that there are almost 200,000 players with the Whisper of the Worm. And only almost 9,000 players with the Regic's Claymore. That number was much smaller than I thought.
I mean, it shows how hard it is to get.
Well, that's the thing. It's only like 40% of the climb. I mean, by theory, more people should have it, but all right. Bungie does warn us about some equipment that will be retired from, or before, or after that, during, whatever, Forsaken. Pretty much everything except for the world vendors. Vanguard, year one weapons and armors and seasonal rewards. Crucible is the same. Gunsmith is year one weapons, year one mods, year one emblems will be gone. Akora's year one armor and year one emblems will be gone. Trials in the Nine stuff will be gone. Iron Banner stuff will be gone. And Cade Stash year one emblems will be gone. But they do say, everything but the world vendors will be retired. But some of these things, and I'm wondering because they give this image of Better Devils, if that's going to be one of some of the things, but some things will be actually returning to be revamped in year 2. Yeah, it comes September 4th. Small number of weapons that you know and love will be updated to year 2 standards, featuring random rolls and capacity to accept year 2 weapon modifications, which is another interesting aspect. Let's see. But yes, but anyone who has obtained year 1 items can infuse them into higher power levels into year 2. So yeah. They're not going to stop you from making them progress. It's just some of this stuff may not be obtainable anymore. And then, of course, like, the big news other than this event going on, the combat reveal stream. Happening this coming Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Which I've got to say, their video preview has led to some excitement from people. Considering it's shown Better Devils to killing 3 headshots. Which, for those that aren't savvy, isn't how fast it kills right now. But yeah. So that's going to be exciting to see what else changing for coming Forsaken.
I mean, do you think they're going to do some time to kill fuckery, or do you think that was with mods?
No, well, last week on TWAB, they definitely confirmed time to kill is lowering or getting faster, for sure. So yeah, that was just that archetype of hand cannon now.
Okay.
So, yeah. Which that's going to make it interesting having... because Better Devils is in the archetype just below the aggressive hard archetype, which currently can also kill in 3 headshots. Or actually is the only archetype that can kill in 3 headshots. So yeah, considering... I wonder how low they're going for the 3-tap for hand cannons, though. But that answer will be resolved come Tuesday. Where they're going to be telling us primarily about that and some other possible things. But no incredible telling for sure. The player support report.
I do love that.
All right. Does have some interesting information regarding the event with the elemental orb generation. And they do give some notes in the TWAB as to basically how it's done a little better to a degree. But they do mention these like few tips, but the fact that they generate randomly. Well, these orbs are generated randomly by defeating enemies. Here are a few tips. So, orbs are generated only by players who have an entire Solstice armor set equipped of any quality. Elemental orb generation does not require super ability kills or masterwork weapon kills. Players can potentially generate orbs on any kill as long as they are wearing their full Solstice armor set. Elemental orbs are generated based off the player's equipped subclass as well as their equipped energy and power weapons. If, for example, you wanted to generate only solar orbs, changing your loadout to all solar helps you accomplish this. Kinetic weapons can also generate orbs based off the player's loadout. You can generate and receive elemental orbs from local allies. If you're traveling in a fire team, coordinating elements can help you more aggressively progress through elemental orb pursuits. That's that. And there's some a few known issues that they are aware of, and we'll probably get it fixed out because, good God, this is a month-long event. One thing they do mention, though, is in the 2.0.0 vital information, they do mention in general collections will be unavailable. Specifically, this includes the collections for emblems as well as exotic weapons and armor. Players want to have an emblem or exotic item in their inventory during this week. Oh, yeah. Your current collections. Mm-hmm. After 2.0.0 happens, basically you'll have no way of pulling out or reacquiring emblems and exotics during the week to Forsaken. So, yeah.
So if you don't have it and you want to get it, you can't get it.
Yeah. At least not for, like I said, not for that week until 2.0.1 drops and Forsaken officially changes everything. So yeah, at first I thought I read something about the vault not being available, but this would actually make more sense considering, like I said, that entire collection tabs in the vault is going to be gone. Yeah. So yeah, for that week and for the in between, there's not going to be anything. So yeah, be sure all the exotics you want to use, all the emblems you want to use are either on your character or in your vault, so long as the vault's not screwed as well. And then Nightfall Strike scoring will also not be available for that week, because apparently Nightfalls are changing again. So yeah.
Maybe they're just adding new exclusives.
I don't know, because I mean, they said they'll have more information about strikes and how they're changing in Forsaken in the coming weeks, so I don't know. It'll depend. Of course, movies of the week, Nightfall high scores, bleh, bleh, bleh. That's the TWAB. Yay.
Yeah, pretty quick one this week.
Indeed.
So I was stretching. When you don't sleep, your body's like, oh no, you're done.
But yeah, we do have Solstice of Heroes up.
We do.
Which, I mean, is essentially just the summer triumphs given a proper in-game seasonal thing.
I'm not saying it's bad.
No, I actually like the idea that now what's always been like our, moment of triumph season now just has in-game flair and decor.
Yeah.
And has increased that kind of, it does make it kind of seem at least like there's something going on now during what's usually the quiet time in Destiny. It's like that summer just before, those month or so just before like a content drop. There's like that quiet time that's usually kind of filled by the moments of triumph, but there's just feels like there's nothing going on in game. Well, now it kind of feels like there's something going on in game.
You can say that again.
All right.
I have I finally got some time. Thank you, Pete, for that. To dig in a little bit, and I have the green armor now. Mm-hmm. Do you have to upgrade the armor at one time?
Yeah. As soon as all of your objectives are complete on all of your armor pieces, you can then upgrade the set of armor.
Okay, so I can't get my helmet to blue while everything else is green. I have to do the entire set and then pop it. Okay, that was my question.
Yep, it has to be the whole set or nothing, essentially, gets upgraded.
Alright, that's a little bit of but I can understand why.
Yeah, I mean, then it just kind of happens, because when you go up to the statue, rather than saying, like, consider your journey, it's like, something about, like, enforce your power or something like that.
Okay.
And then you hold your button down. It'll be a longer press, but it's like, that's the conversion process that'll take away your old quality and give you your new quality.
Okay. And that's not the purple is the good one, right? It's three upgrades to get to the one that we're all like, oh my god, that looks so dope.
Yeah. That's the purple quality. Because once you actually get the armor, you get it as green, you upgrade it to blue, then you upgrade it to purple, and then you upgrade them to masterwork. But sweet Christ, the objectives for the masterwork.
Oh, like a prestige raid with a clanmate?
Oh no, the prestige raid isn't. It's a prestige raid. It's you have to hit max glory in Crucible.
Oh god.
5 heroic strikes with at least one clanmate. Trying to list these off from memory. From what I know. Oh yeah, and a nightfall clear at or above the score threshold.
Wow.
Yeah. It's actually a fairly serious set of objectives.
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
But that's like the final step, though. I mean, after you get a masterwork, I mean, that's end goal. I mean, there's literally like nothing else to do with the armor after that.
Yeah, I had a nice little surprise when I played the story missions, the redone story missions. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah, like the tribbles of servitors. That's a fun surprise, isn't it?
That was the funniest freaking moment I had, man. Here I am going through Spark, and it's like, it's like, I don't remember half of this crap.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a servitor here. Okay, cool. Pegged him down. Immune. Wait, what? Oh, there's
Bleh.
4.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, peg one down. Immune. Oh, there's 4. Oh, I see where this is going. Whew.
I'm like, wow, that is a fucked up. That I was just like, are you serious right now? Like, or just constantly shoot, and I could hear him go blah. It's just like, okay, someone got the a mogwai wet. Let's go.
Oh, Jesus. But, yep.
And then the tank level, which is always, that's one of the most fun levels you can do.
It is. But good God, dude. Is that tank kind of a freaking glass cannon?
Oh, for sure.
My God. And you have like a couple scions there, and you just see your health just deteriorate. It's like, okay, I have to be careful now. Which is not your first thought when you hop into it. When a shooter gives you a tank, me being careful is not thought number 1.
No, it's
far from
it's pretty much like, oh, how am I gonna fuck some shit up now?
But yeah, I love like the Redux missions though. Have you done the Chosen? The fight with.
I'm doing that now.
Oh Jesus! Like, oh God! But yeah, that final fight with him is ridiculous.
Oh, I look forward to it. Thanks.
It's ridiculous, but in a good way.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a lot of these missions, like Spark, I can understand it like not having that much of like a mechanical heavy boss, because I guess the point of that mission is to get your life back.
Yeah.
So if you have too difficult of a boss at that point in time, when you don't have like a super or anything, I mean, it was understandable why, like I said, trouble freaking servitors weren't there, because again, you just would not have been. I mean, imagine doing all that without like your super.
Oh yeah.
all you have those crappy white weapons and like your name melee. Nah. But
yeah.
But like, did like 1AU is just brutal though. Oh my God.
I'm sure. I'm sure solo is terrible.
It was. I can tell you it was. To the point that when I did actually get to the blue armor set, I actually outright refused to do 1AU and Chosen solo. I refused it. It's like I'm gonna have to hop in somebody to get these done, because I'm not doing that again.
So with green, it's soloable.
Oh yeah, they are soloable for sure. Especially at the green. If you try and solo at the blue rarity, though, enemies are actually a little harder.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do they change at all, or is it
No,
same stuff?
nothing changes. It's just like enemies are. It's basic shooter difficulty increase at that point in time. Enemies are a little spongier.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, like I said, that's about that. It's nothing too awful. It's just it was just enough to make me not want to do 1AU solo again. But interestingly enough, I don't think that happened. Like, the difficulty spike doesn't really happen. Because I ended up, the way I ended up completing them, because I hopped in a group with Bro Eli and Avenger. Mm-hmm. But they were still on their green quality missions. But I was able to hop in, and it was still at their difficulty, and it was completing for both of us. So that was...
You lucked out on that one.
Interesting. But yeah, so you can like hop in like a different rarity and nothing gets screwed up, because like I told them, I thought of like the Division. Mm-hmm. Because if you tried to hop in to a friend's low level encounter and you were like max level, Yeah, all of a sudden the enemies were like a few levels under you, not your friend.
Mm-hmm.
That sucked. But but yes, I mean it makes it. It's just like it's hilarious, like how difficult the missions don't become when in a fire team, though. Um, but no, they're still fun, and it's just a lot of them are like, just especially Chosen. It just feels like Chosen. That's how Chosen should have been at launch, basically. But it wasn't, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely. From the feel of it now, I mean, you get a yellow name boss every single door.
I know, right?
I'm like, ooh.
I know, right?
But I mean, I'm happy I got as far as I did with the time I had with it so far. So.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, it's a hefty grind, but I mean, a lot of people do have to remember it was designed for a month-long event.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's a hefty grind, but when you, like I said, when you really do think about it in the space of a month, it's, I mean, truly not that bad whatsoever.
It's just the way the community eats up content.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
It's like, get it done today.
Yeah, they had people. There was at least. So no, I saw on Twitter one guy actually got masterworked, like at least one set of armor in day one.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, okay. I mean,
You gonna complain about not having anything to do?
I mean, at least as far as I know, he wasn't the type. But yeah, he was just like, well, finish this, and it's like, okay.
That was fun.
It's like, all right. But yeah, it was it's a nice hefty little grind. But it's nothing, at least too super awful. Like I said, considering the context and time. I don't understand. Now, what I don't understand is on your green quality set of armor, it's like defeat 10 opponents in the Crucible and then get a percentage of super kills in the Crucible. Yeah, you need 30 super kills in the Crucible to complete that.
Yeah, that's what I figured it was. And you got to wear that armor too, so you can't have any exotics or nothing, right?
Well, you can wear the minimum you have to wear as long as you're not dealing with the the elemental orb generation. You don't have to wear the full set.
You just have to wear the piece that needs it.
Exactly, and that's how it tracks.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of like it's a little like faction rallies in that aspect. Not all pieces. Oh, and you will be happy to hear that the elemental orb generation is only on the green set. It's not on the blue set.
Oh, so I don't have to do the whole play strikes, get solar orbs or whatever I had to do.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, those are gone. Those are replaced with like, because the primary difference between the green and the blue is like the greens are like a lot of their stuff is focused on elemental orb generation, whereas the blue set is a little more focused on like ability kills and like get kills with this type of or this element of an energy weapon. Let's see, for hunters, there's like void grenade kills, solar melee kills, arc super kills. So it's more kill oriented than just generate orbs and pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like that progression, and then of course to go from legendary to masterwork is just do every bit of in-game content perfectly.
Yeah.
which again is actually like super understandable, and like it's it's going to be like a really nice challenge in order to get all that.
You can make it look crappy too, right?
Yeah. Once you get to the legendary quality, the other items or the other rarities become ornaments for the armor.
Okay, well that's at least a benefit.
Yeah.
So if you like the way the crappy one looks, but it still keeps its color, the golden white, or does it go back to the crappy color tone as well?
Oh no! Oh yeah, the scorch set it stays scorched. I mean, it looks exactly like it does. The only ornament I could actually see me using, other than the resplendent look, is the blue set, where it's just like white and grays, pretty much, without all the fancy trim of the resplendent. But yeah, that's the only ornament I could see me using, because I like the fact that it's an option, but I'm not the type of player that's going to be wearing a busted set of armor just because.
I get that.
But yeah, like I said, I do like the fact that it's in the game. It's just that's not me. Like I can see using the rare look though, because like I said, it's not bad. It's at least a clean armor. It's not a bad color scheme.
Doesn't look like you got into a fist fight with a giant.
No, right? You don't have like a shoulder piece missing, and this thing is dented upwards. Like, oh,
yeah, your mark is just destroyed.
But yes, I mean it's I like a lot of the changes. Like I said, I mean they give you a total utter crap ton of freaking like mini bosses. Which, yeah, like I said, it feels like every freaking door has like, oh, here's a mini boss. Gotta kill this guy. Because they're not all just, because there's also a crap ton of like yellow bars that they've added.
Yeah.
But then you realize like, oh, he has a name. Oh, he has a name. It's like, oh, wait a minute there. I don't remember this many named enemies.
Yeah. Period. That's the end of that statement. I don't remember this many turrets either.
Oh, yeah, Chosen. That's definitely one of the changes they decided is like every corner you turn, there's like 3 Scorpio turrets waiting to gun you down.
Oh, I just realized. Yeah.
But yep, definitely a new thing.
But I mean I like what the triumphs. That was a nice little add-on. When you get there, when you get in, they're waiting for you.
Yeah. The fact that the triumphs are like full, like bounties, is like super cool. But of course, they work just like triumphs normally do. If you've been a super active player and on the edge of things in D2, about half of them, at the very least, are going to be completed as soon as you pick them up. And also, like, warnings for those out there. When it comes to, like, adventures, that is a retroactive change, but it doesn't take account-wide, like, information into account. It only takes character-specific, like, adventure clears. So there is some confusion. It's like, oh, but Bungie.net tells me that, I cleared this triumph, but I picked it up on, X character, and I have 0 out of 20. That means you go to the character that has the completions, you turn the bounty in, and that finishes that bounty for your account. So that way you get those triumph points, because the bounties are not You don't have to turn in multiple ones because you don't actually get like bonus triumph points for multiple turn-ins. But yeah,
Okay.
so there is that bit of interestingness.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I mean, it definitely is a grind, and
Oh, for sure.
that's what we all ask for, right? I mean, it does at. Is it at Masterwork it goes to 400 power, or is it?
No, just the legendaries. As soon as
Okay.
it pops legendary, it's at 400 power. So, I mean, literally the only benefit to the Masterwork is literally
It's
the
Masterwork.
Masterwork. Yeah.
Got it. Oh man, I'm glad they added some more stuff. Like they definitely made it like, you guys want to play? Now you can play.
Isn't that right?
Remember there are some nice ornaments. You know, they give you a little bit. I don't know about the shaders yet.
Oh, and they do remember, like, listening to a dev or like reading a dev statement on Twitter that was like a lot of people, want them to implement more like community ideas and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that the Scorched armor set is an ornament is kind of like that community want to have that Scorched armor set be implemented into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Is kind of the idea that basically started the Solstice armor, sort of. So, yeah, the devs took that idea and, they did a thing with it.
Yeah, they said, let's go.
Yeah. So there are, examples of such things happening in the game. And like I said, this is one of them. It's like Trick Sparrows.
Mm-hmm.
Trick Sparrows is one of those ideas that devs saw the community doing these, sparrow tricks, and they're like, we could make something that that does this. So that's how that happened. So yeah, this was a Solstice armor, at least started from the community idea. It's like, hey, why don't we get that busted armor as ornaments for something?
Yeah.
I'm like, huh.
You're like, that's a good idea. I'm glad we thought of it.
So yeah, I've always find that kind of crap very interesting, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, as somebody rumbles through the entirety of the kitchen to do something.
Man, I'm just
Fantastic.
it's okay.
Yeah, I know.
People know what they're getting into when they turn us on.
For sure. And if you don't by now,
You're not paying
welcome.
attention.
Yeah, welcome.
But I mean, it's fun. It makes you play with your clan mates, and for me, it's basically you. Hey, buddy.
Oh wow. Yeah, okay. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's all in all, it's a good feel. It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. I really like what they did. Like I said, they took what was already like essentially a seasonal thing and just made it an in-game seasonal thing, complete with in-universe like explanation. It is us celebrating our accomplishments as Guardians.
Did you see by chance how many shaders were deleted?
I guess something like 800 million or whatever.
Yeah, that's a million if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
800 million shaders. Also, it's funny the little nod to Marvel that they did.
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, That's like that's current meme.
Yeah, pretty much. It's meme game. If you,
But yeah,
with Gorilla Golf, we will never stifle your meme game.
right.
You guys love us. Yeah, I do.
Ooh. But yeah, no, fair. We do love you, Gorilla Golf. It is incredible. It's like I was thinking, or me and my random thoughts, like through like the week. I super appreciate all of our community members, but it comes to the thing. It's like, oh, but what if y'all get like a community focus from Bungie and this, that, and I don't care actually. Because it would be cool, to be noticed for the service we provide. At the same time, nowhere near necessary. And B, we've definitely found like our niche of a community with all of you amazing people that we have. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
No worries.
Had to, I guess the tire place closes at 1. Which I think I knew, but yeah, it would be no problem. Yeah, to echo what Des said earlier, if we got a Bungie focus, that would be super cool. If we didn't, I'd rather just have I'm super happy. I mean, I talked to Gorilla Golf yesterday. I didn't sleep, so basically today.
Yeah.
About some things, and I don't want to announce anything because it's his baby that he's working on. So.
Oh.
Yeah. You with your Paladins videos, which are super good if you like Paladins or if you like Des.
That has happened since last recording. So yeah, that video's live.
It has indeed, good sir.
I tend to forget. It's like, oh yeah, that was actually that recently.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Definitely working at least on scripts for the next couple. So, just getting them together, and D2 happened and Solstice happened. So, I would probably have a new one ready to be put out again, but
D2 happened.
Yeah, Solstice happened and the grind, and yeah. But I am, like I said, at least working on scripts, getting them ready to be done off. So yeah,
very cool. I'm excited. When I watched the, I messaged you when I watched the one for Victor, and oh man, the giggles were just so real. So many things had me just laughing, and I'm excited for you, man. I'm happy.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I decided to just, because I didn't want it purely, because I know a lot of it's just me talking, but I mean, I didn't want it to just be, I wanted to throw myself as much as I could into the project, essentially. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if I thought of it while writing the scripts, like, if I thought of a joke or a reference or, something that's been said, it's like, yeah, it went into the script. I mean, It's like, okay, I can do this here and I can do that there. I can find like this image and like very subtly have it faded onto this character as this reference. So yeah, I just decided to have poke as much fun at things as I could.
And that showed. I could tell you were having fun.
But yeah, so it's definitely going to be my little passion project over the next 36 or so freaking videos. Oh, God.
All right, launching one of you. Yeah, it's I'm excited for Ruckus because I love for those guys. But yeah, I mean, all in all, it's gonna be a good Forsaken fall. Yeah, Forsaken fall. There you go. That's a good.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be like. I actually can't wait for like. The end of Solstice. It's just going to be when we get like the weapon slot changes. And I cannot wait to see what else like going to change into what slot and such, and see like how that settles. Because that's going to drastically change like the landscape of things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I can also say I get the giggles when I saw you get on Twitter and mention how certain people are all about the current Crucible, how it's, I guess, easy again or something like that.
I mean, yeah. For those that don't know, Crucible matchmaking is a little bugged in the fact that there are no matchmaking filters active right now. The game is not looking for a good connection quality for you. The game is not looking for players in your skill level. It is just matching you with people. Period. It doesn't matter who that person is, as long as they're searching around the same time. Matchmaking is probably going to throw you in with that person. They could be halfway across the world from you. That doesn't matter because there are, like I said, there are no working filters right now. It is just, hey, these two guys are looking to match. Throw them together,
and everybody and people love it.
Oh yeah, it's a very interesting. Like, I actually came across the very first like D1 level of red bar in these changes.
Really?
Yeah, like dude was teleporting like 5 feet at a time. I mean, you just think his strafe is good, and then it's like, no, wait, he's just like glitching to the left and to the right.
He's not blinking.
So, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's the first time I actually had, because I can't remember, it might have been Converse, but I remember commenting, it's like, you know what, I thought Bungie just had like the system working like better. But now I realize, no, basically their connection-based protocols were just better.
So they were putting red bars with red bars, in essence.
Essentially, which you gotta wonder who actually has the advantage there. No one. It's probably awful.
Oh, it's probably good.
But yeah, it was probably just the worst. But so yeah, so of course, like, a large percentage of your very vocal 1% skill bracket PvP players are, of course, adoring these changes.
Yeah.
I've heard some very like balanced and such opinions from what could be considered higher skill players, but I mean, it just boils down, and like even a couple of my comments were don't really want to say unfair, but rather unbalanced and maybe a little salty. But it just comes down to the fact that it's like I don't. Regardless of what side of the conversation you're on, if you're for or against skill-based matchmaking, I don't really care so much, because the one thing that gets to me is the fact that people don't like consider the multiple sides that are involved with the matchmaking. Because I mean, yeah, the higher skill players are probably having a blast because they're just getting a wide range of opponents now. And of course, we can already see through like the clips and stuff with, you know, them getting, you know, 50 and 60 kills a game. That, you know, they're having a ball. And yes, these changes are actually really good for the 1%, because they can just go into quick play. They can just have fun.
Yeah.
Because yes, winning easier is fun. I mean, it just is. But at the same time, I mean, one thing that people tend to, I guess, it's just weird, because these people are literally, I mean, they're called the 1% for a reason, because their skill bracket is 1% of the community or the population pool.
Yeah.
So, while yes, these 1% out of some, like 8 million, I think, people playing Destiny or whatever across consoles,
yeah.
at a minimum, probably at this point in time. Yeah, so these are what, 8,000 people, if I can percentage right. Percentage math in my head, not my strong suit.
1% of, yeah. Right.
Yeah, it sounds right. It's just, yeah. There's that one math nerd that's gonna know it way quicker than I do. But yeah, so yeah, while it's fun for the 8,000 players, guess what? The other like 7,900,000 whatever are having an awful time every single time they match against these people.
Yeah.
Like downright awful. And you know, the more people that the more people in the lower skill brackets that have less fun, I mean, it is similar to how I learned in D1, because like I tell people, I was not a shooter dude, so I had to like really learn a lot of like first person shooter mannerisms, just in general, like getting into Destiny. And when I first started, I don't think I actually talked about this, but when I first started playing PvP in D1 back in year 1, I was about a 0.5, 0.6 KD guy. Literally. But yeah, so I mean, and it took me quite a while before I was getting into like, you know, at least the 0.8, 0.9, and it took until Taken King-ish for me to get to the 1.2s, even though I was like perma stuck with a 0.9 thanks to, you know, previous play. But I mean, not everyone. I mean, I didn't play Crucible back in those 0.5s, 0.6. People drug me into Crucible to play. But yeah, like not a lot of people have that patience to really get good against, especially against good players. And then a lot of people are like, well, that's, you know, you can learn like how to play or whatever playing against top tier. But here's the thing, like when you're playing against the top tier of people and you're just learning, it's like more likely for a newer player to pick up bad habits. Just because of like lucky kills that they may get, or, you know, kind of being unpredictable like may not be a good thing, but maybe what helps you get a kill against, a higher tier player, because your higher skill brackets are going to be looking for the predictable things to do, like in their skill bracket. And if you're not, like I said, it doesn't equate to a good move. It just equates to what's good in that situation. But yeah, it's like I said, general health. I mean, you kind of want to protect these newer people at the very least. Because yeah, these are the people that need to have, at the very least, a decent time in PvP. But again, like I said, these vocal 1% community leaders just, because it's the arguments that are just so weird, because yeah, they don't want to like sweat and like try too hard, but yet when they go against these matches, you think they're using lesser loadouts.
No,
they're using their try hard, and they're swinging their balls off trying to get 60 kills against people that are lower skilled than them. So I mean, regardless of whether they want to admit it or not, they're still tryharding.
Mm-hmm.
They're still sweating. It's just they don't want their opponents to be able to fight back as well as they can.
Yeah,
and is what it boils down to. And again, I'm okay with that. I just dislike the fact that it's these people like saving face, trying to make themselves seem better than what they are, or something. Like they have to be some like saintly individuals that they have to protect some image. It's like, oh, I'm not a douchebag. I just don't want to try, too hard all the time.
I'm not a douchebag. I just play one on YouTube.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's just kind of how it appears.
Yeah.
But I mean, if one of these guys made a video, it's like, yeah, I just want to pub stomp on people on occasion. Good for you. That's fine. Because everyone wants to have an easy win. Again, I mean, come on. Like I said, I'm playing against AI on Paladins, like, to relearn characters and such. But yeah, it also feels really good to win, like, easily.
Yeah.
Because even though, like, high-res, like, there's, like, a switch these AI, like, flip, and all of a sudden they're, like, dead-shot aims for, like, 5 seconds, which can murk you. At the same time, they use, like, the most common paths, and they literally line up in a line for you to just annihilate them all. So, I mean, it's not... Like I said, at least when playing against other people, you can't take, like, the tactics and apply it into, like, playing against anybody. Because you're learning bad things.
Yeah, no one's going to stand in a straight line. Well, very few people will stand in a straight line.
Yeah.
Unless they're trying to line you up for a specific thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's one of the things, because placements are going to be, like, all wrong. But, again, it's valuable for learning what your character can do. And then as soon as you have a good grasp on that, then you can, like, start going and playing against people and, like, seeing the lanes and seeing high traffic areas and hotspots and things like that. But it's all a learning process. But yeah, again, easy wins are nice. It's great. But at the same time, like I said, just be honest about it. Like, I mean, you're not some deified, or at least to me, you're not some deified individual. I mean, you have incredible talent in a video game. Congratulations. Other than that,
it's like being good at juggling, though.
Yeah, no, right? I mean, it's a talent you have. That's great. You put a lot of hard work into it. I respect that. But just, I mean, it's kind of like basic rules of the revolution. Just be a dick about it.
I think I'd respect it more if I saw a video and it was like, just doing a little pub stomp, and I'd be like, well, let me see this guy pub stomp. And I'd be like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, totally pub stomp. Not, work this game or 60 kills, 60 kills.
60 kills casually or whatever. Something like that. Or it's like, oh my god, this is the best. This needs to be in the game all the time. This is how it should be. Oh my god. It's like,
no. I
just don't want to go, like, oh, and the new one. The new one that really gets me are these, are when the higher tier players are like, Yeah, but when I used to play with my friends, they used to have such a hard time. So now I get to play with my friends and everyone's okay. Yeah, because you
Yeah,
apparently really care about that.
now you're the hard time. Now everyone's having a hard time because you're in there using your try hard thing. But I mean, it is what it is.
It's hilarious
It's
when
gonna
I
go away.
it's hilarious when I see that because every time I would play with Converse, which he's like a massive skill level ahead of me, sure, but every time I'd play with him, it would work off my matchmaking, not his. So I'm kind of curious on if it wasn't just like the possible oh, what's the word I'm looking for?
A cop out?
No, not a cop out. It's a placebo effect, basically. Like people are expecting a hard lobby,
So
which
they perceive it.
because my lobbies, like I said, whenever I play with them, like they might like the opponents might be slightly higher than me, but they weren't at his skill level.
Yeah.
And he would have an easier time. I'd have a slightly sweatier match. But it was definitely working off my matchmaking. Like, kind of as a primary and just augmenting through him. So, like I said, I'm wondering if it was almost a lot of it was, like I said, more a perceived change rather than being an actual change.
God damn.
Um,
Like confirmation biased as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all just an interesting thing. It's going to be an argument that's always going to be around in the Destiny universe. Using. I mean, come on. Back in like Taken King or whatever, or Rise of Iron, whenever it came up, we were talking about this like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
When people were like, "Oh, it needs to be connect-based matchmaking. Take out skill-based matchmaking." Oh my God, we've had these talks before.
We have.
And I am still for skill-based matchmaking. But like I said, at least now, I do understand like where people are coming from with certain arguments. Like I said, primarily, just be honest with yourself, man. Just come out and say it. It's like, I enjoy pub stomping. And these quick play settings let me do that more often.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right.
You get that.
I was like, fine.
I mean, the fact that King Koala even was like, it's just that they don't want to.
Yeah.
What was it? Compete, and I was like, man.
Yeah.
He's probably the best player I know.
I know, right? And the fact that he replied to that without me tagging him now has me nervous because, like, oh my God, he's actually paying attention to what I'm saying. But no, I mean, yeah, like his reply, like one of my things is like, why this, high skill players, this, that, or the other, and he's like, because skill based matchmaking hurts their egos. And it's like, yeah, I mean that's the thing, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, be honest with it, It's like I want to win more often. Okay, cool. I don't want my opponents to know what I'm doing or whatever. All right, fine. Like I said, be honest about it. I mean, but like I said, that's forever going to be
The thing.
a hot topic. Let me tell you what. Jesus. Where'd you get them jeans? Hot topic. I don't know. I couldn't think of like a hot topic ad campaign or whatever.
I don't think there is one.
I'm sure there probably used to be.
Maybe back in the day, I guess.
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, come on. But yeah. So, like I said, it's just now that's the hot topic. I mean, it has swung back around, and might again. But yeah.
Things are very cyclical.
Yeah, exactly. Like Bungie though is like noting like what to do And like I said, they'll have the data to support whatever choice they make, hopefully. Other than that, I mean, like I said, I don't care one way or the other, really. Like I said, I would prefer skill-based matchmaking, but, I mean, it's not like I work at Bungie and have like a say on this matter. But yeah, so like I said, some of the best opinions I've had was like people like Swain and which are just very balanced about it, and they're like, yeah, this isn't healthy for possibly a majority of the population, but it can be fun for higher skilled people, and that's true. Actually, it's like I've actually noticed because what I did a couple of my call to arms last week, and then of course thanks to these ornaments having a crap ton of crucible changes or objectives, I've played a lot of Crucible in the last couple of days. And I have noticed that at least when I'm solo queuing now, I'm not winning like nearly as much. Like, I am seriously not winning. I may be winning like 1 or 2 matches out of 10, which is actually, I mean, it's usually a coin toss for me when I'm solo queuing, whether I win or not. It's a roughly 50-50 shot. But man, now it's like 2 times out of 10, I'll win a match. But the interesting thing is, my performance hasn't changed. I'm still like closer to the top. Actually, I think my KDs are even getting better. But again, I try not to take that with anything, because with such easy targets sometimes, I mean, it's basically an inflated stat boost as well. So if they do go to a skill-based system and, you've just been pub stomping, then you might realize it if they do implement a skill-based system.
You're gonna get stomped.
Yeah. Because it is very easy to tell if you are artificially put into like a skill bracket.
Oh, yeah.
And good luck trying to get out of it. Because it seems like when you don't want to get out of or when you want to get out of a skill bracket, it takes forever. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be an argument. That's my stand on it. I mean, I'm all for getting better in like the skill-based settings. I'm all for that, but it's me. I've been called crazy and strange and weird.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I like you. It might just be my inner chaotic self that loves that fact. Just watching you go full, like, we know you're being a dick. You just admit you're being a dick, but you're not going to admit it, are you? No? You're not going to admit it? Okay, cool.
I mean, basically. I mean, I'll at least admit when I'm being a dick. I mean, it's like a couple of my posts. They were fairly dickish, to be honest. They were bait. They were almost. It was almost like one of those comments was almost a dare for one of these people to comment to me.
Oh yeah,
they didn't, but yeah,
I saw.
But it was dickish of me. But you know what? I can be. I'm human. Like I said, I get a little salty when I just see douchebaggery left and right, and it's like, and I've seen douchebaggery left or right.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's going to happen when they drop something like that. You're going to see a little bit of douchiness.
Yeah. Like I said, I almost do hope though that Bungie does decide on at least a slight skill-based system. So that way I'll. I also hate using this term because it's used by people, but the sheep that are following a lot of these like community leaders that are like, oh yeah, this matchmaking is great. We can just easily do this, that. That way they get theirs, and because that's just karmic. I love it. Because again, a lot of people that are playing this matchmaking just because, oh, this guy I follow says it's great, so of course I love it. And people stop. People just stop. It's like, formulate your own opinions based upon fact, based upon what you like, and go from there. Don't formulate opinion just because, oh, this dude on YouTube that has a 660 kill clip video is amazing. I want to do what he does. Oh my god. Don't. Don't. I mean,
please stop.
Yeah, just don't.
What you think, Des? You want to do a two-parter today? Because I have to get, the time's ticking down. I got the tire. We can.
Or
do you want?
We certainly can.
You want to
do a two-parter.
Okay, we can do that.
That way we can get to Gorilla's questions, and because he has a few, as normal.
Yeah.
Laz, you still need to pick up, buddy. Mr. Big Brain, Science Boy. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll call this part 1. I'll release it together. Obviously, I won't do a double drop.
Yeah.
Just leave it as is. So until later on tonight.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
Later, man.
See you guys in a couple of hours. RngCast round 2.
Yeah.
We told you motherfuckers we're coming back.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Yeah.
I have a new tire. I don't want to say how much I spent on that new tire because I damn near got mad and cussed somebody out, but I got it.
Oh, that tire was a pretty penny. You don't even have to say how much. Like,
yeah.
Then that might give away cost of living changes between us.
Yeah.
But yeah, tires can be sickening. It's like batteries nowadays. Jesus Christ, man.
If you say a number smaller than the number I paid, I might get angry. Like, God damn it.
Yeah, you might have to move down here.
Yeah, right?
Not really, because jobs usually pay terribly, but oh god. But yeah. Welcome to Southern Living.
Yeah, I hear that.
Where everything's low, including your pay. Yeah. Anyhow.
But we got some questions. We got some topics.
Got some questions from good old GG. Senor Gorilla Golf. Which, yeah, we'll be opening them up with... okay, there's the... Actually, no. No, actually, our first question is drafties. I momentarily forgot you had a question, Drafty. I apologize. If you could equip all exotics, what would your loadout be?
Jesus Christ. That's Pete is screaming.
Oh, Jesus. All exotics, like a complete and total exotic loadout.
Oh, man.
Let's see, my, like, I guess currently kind of being the meta where I am. Let's see, for power, I'd probably go for Colony, of course, because easy peasy. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm that guy. Yeah.
Don't at me.
Yeah, I mean, have me all you want. Go ahead, but I'm definitely that guy. Energy would probably be Graviton because it is kind of the best energy. And because of Graviton and energy, I'd probably go Suros and Kinetic actually, rather than Vigilance Wing. Because especially considering like Graviton's Catalyst, that range boost is noticeable. My god. But yeah, so as far as armor goes, I mean, being a hunter, yeah, I'm also considering this as a PvP thing because if it was PvE, it'd definitely be like freaking Cold Heart and Whisper.
Yeah.
Probably Sarah Still.
Sarah Still.
Yeah. Let's see. As far as the armor, like I said, for PvP, at least for my hunter, either be Foe Tracer or Knucklehead up top. I don't think hunters have any really good. Sealed Hamgar grasps for. Mm-hmm. No, that's not double melee anymore. So no, that Mechaneer's Trick Sleeve is just kind of mesh. But probably Mechaneer, no, because that loadout doesn't have any sidearms, so that would be probably Aeon Swift then, actually. I mean, just because.
No one uses it. Might as well.
I mean, if you're able to equip all exotics, I mean, yeah, I'd throw it on if it didn't cost me a slot, I'd use it a lot more, actually.
Yeah.
Chest piece would probably be Dragon Shadow. Probably.
Yeah.
As far as legs go, probably Stompies. Just as a general thing. And of course, I mean, yeah, I mean, also there, I'd probably be a little more tempted also to use Wormhusk. And that's just like subclass specific stuff. Because if I'm running like Arcstrider, of course I'm going to use freaking like Shinobus in PvP. Yeah, like I said, as far as armors go, that I don't think. Well, Nighthawk, of course, because Nighthawk, massive damage. But yeah,
oh, the damage.
Yeah, but yeah, that'd probably be like my whole exotic loadout.
I'll go weapons first. For my primary, I'm gonna have to go with the Suros. The Suros is my baby when it comes to that secondary or energy. I'm sorry, don't want to say secondary. I will go with the Graviton because use what works. Also use whatever. Don't apologize.
Yeah.
Heavy. Come on now. You should know this. Inside and out, backwards, forward, Telesto, all day.
Oh, of course.
Armor, boots, Dune Marchers.
Yeah.
Chest, Armamentarium.
Yeah.
Arms, the Fang Pauldrons.
Okay.
Helmet. I mean, come on now. Gotta use that same 14 love.
Oh, good God. Same 14 and Doomfangs?
Yeah.
Oh,
ridiculous.
God.
You can't see me. I'm getting my shield back. You still can't see me. I have more super. Guess what you can't see? My super. And with suppression needs. Yeah.
You can't just constantly play John Cena's theme the entire time. Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, my God. It'd be a nasty combo. I don't think anybody has like that level of combo potential, really.
No, I mean you could add. Maybe instead of the Dune Marchers, I would put on the Lion Rampart. The Lion Ramparts. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it working. Yeah.
Get a little bit more mobility vertical, and then you can't see me. Oh, you're all dead.
Yeah. It's like holy balls. Oh, yeah, that's. I
would pay money to do that for one match.
I know, right?
Pay $5. Like, you could use every single. You could have every open area. Every slot can be an exotic. You would just see so much money. Bungie would break everyone's bank.
For sure. I mean, yeah. It's like have access to this playlist where anything is equipable. Ooh.
Make it for a weekend. Watch how many people. I would do it just to have the videos and to talk about it.
Sure, at the very least. Oh my God. Let's see. So then we get into Guerrilla Golf's myriad of questions. Let's see. First off, if you could have one actor be replaced by an actor of your choosing, who do you replace? His was, oh god, I accidentally scrolled up. His was Topher Grace out as Venom and bring in Tom Hardy. So
Already got that.
so we are very happy with Venom's casting. On a side note, it's like I know he's getting a little gruff, I think, for the accent. Or, I mean, what is it with Tom Hardy and not quite? It's the way his character speaks that he gets the gruff for. It happened with Bane, and it's happening with Eddie. I don't.
I think because doesn't he have a South accent? Doesn't he have like isn't his? I mean, I know he's British, but doesn't he have like one of those weird British accents?
I mean, it could be, but
no disrespect. You know what I mean? Like a
yeah. Weird isn't. At the same time, I think like his choice actually, I think works for Eddie Brock.
Yeah,
pretty well. I mean, I was one of those people that didn't quite understand his Bane until he actually went through, like, started talking about his inspiration for his voice, which is a bunch like intelligent people in the way they'd spoken. It's like, yeah, okay. I mean, I was expecting a little more stereotypical Spanish, so your choice is actually a little better. But yeah, if I could have one actor be replaced by an actor of your choosing, and of course I had to ask for a slight bit of clarification with if it was whether we can replace an actor in a movie already done, or kind of like with the Tom Hardy thing, is if we can have a new actor in a new movie, replace that part. And his response was, take your pick.
Dealer's choice, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if there are too many actors I would replace, though. I'm going to let you answer this one first so I can have a little think.
Oh, man. This is... I mean... Man, this is tough.
It is.
Because... It's tough because I like Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne in this iteration of DC movies, but there could be a better Bruce Wayne.
Okay, that's fair.
In my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he did a great job. It's just it could be better.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Man, this is a tough one.
I was about to say, was it you? It was on the show we were talking about a Batman Beyond live action movie?
Oh, yeah. With
okay.
Michael Keaton as old Bruce Wayne, and then, what's the kid's name from... Styles from the Teen Wolf show.
Yeah.
Would be a good Terry. I mean, yeah, Topher Grace and Tom Hardy is just pretty much...
Yeah, I mean, nothing against Topher. He did good with...
what was given to him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, also, yes, he wasn't like the ideal Eddie Brock, considering Eddie Brock is a big old boy. Which surprisingly, actually, Tom Hardy isn't even that big for this role. But then again, we also haven't seen him outside of street clothes, so too much.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a parasite.
Oh God, I love that part.
That line is so good. Let me see.
It's like sitting there, and oh my God, Venom is he's like original appearance creepy. Like, this is the Venom that was like eating people's brains type deal. Like, oh.
Let me see here. I'm just looking up movies that I enjoyed and see if I could find someone who I would rather have.
I know, right? Because it wouldn't be fair to pick on poor Spider-Man because he's been recast so many times in the years. Like, oh my God, just leave it alone.
Yeah, he legitimately has separation anxiety.
Yeah. Holy crap. Let's see. Actually, I think the only actor I would replace with a performance, we also talked about on cast because that picture was just freaking amazing. But it is Willem Dafoe as Joker. I still want that. I don't care if it's like in their current universe or just a standalone thing. I don't care. I want to see that man as the Joker.
Well, he would be perfect in a Batman Beyond.
That's true too.
Or like the Frank Miller run of Batman.
Yeah, for sure. Like gives that Batman Beyond is like, you know, the re-rise, like Joker's still alive, and oh god, just kind of like ignoring the return of the Joker, which was still an epic freaking story. Mm-hmm. It's like that was actually very well, like, oh my god, Batman Beyond was actually such a good cartoon for
Batman Beyond was really good. Like it still holds up too.
Like, because actually, at one point in time, I actually rewatched the Justice League Unlimited tie-in. Like, I think it was their season 2 finale, where they pretty much epilogued Batman Beyond. And oh my god, it was still so good to watch. Yeah. Even for a cartoon that's like 10, 15 years old or something. But yeah, I think that would be. I just want a Willem Dafoe's Joker. To be honest, yeah, give us a Batman Beyond. Give us Willem Dafoe as a returning Joker. Have Michael Keaton return as old crotchety Bruce Wayne. That's perfect. And then yeah, I mean, basically, even Terry McGinnis is basically
any.
Yeah, you can pretty much pick. Yeah, about any freaking like up and coming young actor.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it writes itself.
It does.
It literally is like, here you go. I'll give you this for free.
Yeah. And actually, I actually think Jodie Foster might actually also make a good like Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
It's like I think she'll be able to pull off that like, you know, kind of jaded former crime fighting superhero type police chief, basically.
Yeah, like, I know Bruce. I know.
Yeah, I can see them interacting very well. I mean, like I said, yeah, that one would be a bit of a stretch, but I mean, at the same time, I still think she would fit very well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we just cast Batman Beyond.
I know, right? It's like, you know, forget this like replacing actors. Let's just make Batman Beyond.
Can we make Batman Beyond? Yes, we can. It pretty like we said, it makes itself.
Exactly. I mean, just kind of splice together the plot of Batman Beyond Episode 1 with Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. And just like I said, just kind of intermingle those plots, and there's the making of a really good movie.
Yeah. I would, that movie. Oh man, could you just imagine? Because Batman Beyond is beloved for certain people. That's their Batman as kids. You know what I mean? That's like, oh, that's the Batman I grew up with.
Yeah, I mean that, and it was one of the few instances of DC animated universe becoming a comic book. Because that was just purely an animated thing that they did, and then they actually officially folded it into, you know, the DC multiverse and an official comic. The only other thing that's done that was Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that's just because Harley Quinn got super hot super quick, and not hot like, oh, it's a sexy comic. I mean,
yeah, it actually took her like 5 or so years.
Yeah,
at least outside of the comics to portray that. But yeah, yeah, for some, I mean, then she was super popular in the animated series. I mean, she was actually like, she had a lot of personality and stuff.
Puddin'.
I know, right? I mean, their interactions were just great in the animated, like, being a kid and not being a DC fan, I actually didn't know that she wasn't part of the comics, like originally.
She was a cartoon only who was like, oh, she's so popular, we should keep her in. And then,
yeah, I mean, it was the same people, because the people that kind of wrote the scripts for the animated show were the same people, I think, in control of the Batman comics at the time.
Yeah. So
it was technically a comic book creation. It's just they introduced her in the animated series. They kind of like they kind of beta tested her.
Yeah.
She became popular, and it's like, yeah, let's put her in the comics.
OBWB.
Oh god, but yeah. So sorry for ruining that question, Gorilla. But that's probably about. I'm a little too laid back in my movie choices anymore.
I just want to be entertained.
Yeah. Yeah, if I have to cut my brain off in order to enjoy something, like I said, I enjoy Transformers. Most of them. It's getting a little old by now, for sure. By little, please stop. Mm-hmm. I was like, I saw an ad for Bumblebee, and it's like, oh God, no. God, no. It's like, I'm sure I'll enjoy it, but it's like, please stop.
Bumblebee, what's going on, buddy? Mark Wahlberg trying to be funny.
Oh. But, let's see. Here we go. Another question. Would you be down for Bungie turning raid gear into Solstice of Heroes style gear where you have to upgrade it by doing certain tasks? I think it would give huge incentive to raid or go into raid layers for people who don't usually raid. Cough, cough, PvP ponies. Yes, I would love this system. For sure.
I actually think they're beta testing this system to see if we like it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is how things are going to be for like, maybe for like, obviously faction rallies have it already. And faction rallies,
yeah, sort of. It's sort of how they do the ornament system now, where they just give us one set of base armor, and the look evolves as that year goes through. But yeah, to have it literally evolve though would actually be super cool, and like have it tied to the activity where you get it in, like Iron Banner armor. Like it'd be a really awesome. Like it would kind of suck too, because like if it was certain like light level or whatever, and considering light levels being reactivated, like you get this low like green armor for Iron Banner, but you have to play Iron Banner to get better Iron Banner gear. I would, like I said, I would totally be down for that. Of course, at the same time, and also, if they did that, I would want those particular armor sets to like have gear or to have perks or traits very specific to that activity. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, raid gear pretty much has it right now, with their built-in like mods. But yeah, it'd have to be basically something like that, and not like the late D1 Iron Banner armor. Yeah, they had like, oh, if you capture a point, you get like more movement speed or something, whatever it was. Yeah. Whatever Capture King used to be. But yeah, no, totally.
Capture King was movement speed, yeah, if I remember correctly. A lot of head impacts, so I might be a little bit wrong. Yeah, I actually think that's, like I said, I think this is them going, do you like this? Yeah. All right. This is how it's going to be. I hope you're cool with that.
But yeah, so I mean, yeah, I think that would be a really good idea to introduce more of this like evolving armor, especially in the raid.
Yeah.
Especially. It's like for normal raid, yeah, you get like this blue gear. It gives you the power level just enough to do the raid. But as you go on, grow more powerful, and then, then you get through that armor, you can get access to do the prestige or whatever, and then from that you can craft the ultimate raid armor, which is definitely also moving into deep MMO territory as well, though.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Like having progressive armor and like armor requirements for particular activities is like a pretty hefty MMO move as well. So yeah, I'm all down for it. I mean. All right, so apparently there's a question for me, which girl asked, who is the most overpowered fighting game character that is not special, unlock, or code? Mine was Eddie Gordo in Tekken. I also hate to tell you, GG, but this kind of also reveals your casualness in Tekken.
Damn!
Because Eddie Gordo is powerful against casual players. Try those shenanigans against somebody that knows Tekken, your Eddie Gordo button mashing ain't working. I'm sorry. But that's also like his thing in the Tekken community is the fact that, yeah, he's like easy entry, but yeah, you try those easy entry shenanigans against someone that actually knows how to play the game, which I'm not saying it's me, because trust me, I love Eddie Gordo button mashing. It is like super satisfying to wail on your buttons, and there's this majestic looking capo dance happening in front of you. I love it. I'm a button masher with Eddie for sure, but you can't do that against the people that know what's up.
That's the guy in Tekken. That's the capoeira, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That has like at least 4 kind of clone characters based after him.
Is that the guy with like the kangaroo and the panda cloned after him?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
Well, I mean, because Eddie had Christy Montero, that's right, who was literally just female Eddie. But now they're somewhat separate characters. But then there was Tiger, which
is a tiger.
No, not a tiger. He is afro-wearing, bell-bottom, like, disco dancer. Like, skin, basically, for Eddie.
Oh.
And, yeah, it's, like, the most hilarious thing to watch, though.
Okay.
But, yeah, as far as most OP fighting game character, just at base. Well, if we're including DLC characters, at least for more modern, when Scorpion was actually introduced as a guest character in Injustice, he was super broken. Because for those that don't know, Scorpion, coming from Mortal Kombat, was a block button fighter. But when NRS made Injustice, it was a more traditional hold back to block fighter. And the issue with that was Scorpion is a teleporter that goes from one side of the screen to the other. So his teleport was literally crossing people up. Like, you couldn't hold back to block it because he'd just, like, in a snap, teleport and be on the other side. All of a sudden, you're not holding back to block anymore. You're actually holding forward and getting hit by his teleport. Easy peasy. So they actually had to modify the frame data and its hit height to where that you could actually duck it, and it wouldn't. It would actually whiff on a duck. So yeah, he was very busted in that setting, and he was very overpowered. And Injustice players got very tired of him very fast. But at the same time, it also kind of taught people why teleporters don't work in holding back to block games.
Yeah, I was about to say Nob Sabat was kind of a nightmare too.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he's
same reason. The teleport, you can't. Oh, yeah. He'll bounce off screen and elbow you in the back. You can't block that.
Yeah, it's there's all kinds of shenanigans, but yeah, as far as like a base fighting game character, I don't know directly offhand. I know also, actually no. Base game MK9. Cyrex was actually super busted. Cabal is actually still super busted, for completely other reasons. And the reason why they're so just utterly busted is because in those, like, Cyrex had what was called a reset combo. And I'm not sure if I talked about this before, but a reset combo is it's technically 2 combos, because you put your character into a situation where your opponent like pops out of one combo and then you're starting a second combo, but there's actually no way for your opponent to get out of that transition because of the state they're in, unless, like, at least for Mortal Kombat, they unless they use like a breaker or whatever, but yeah, for normal ways, there's no way to get out of that situation. So all of a sudden, he can do like 2 combos, and 80% of your health is gone in those, like, in that technically one combo. So yeah, he was quite busted, and I don't think they actually ever fixed that really. And then Cabal, because he was just dumb. He could do his dash special and cancel it like almost before he even goes anywhere, so you hear the activation, and he's actually kind of like building meter as it happens. So he was busted for a whole reason. But yeah, as far as like Tekken and stuff goes, I mean, I don't know Tekken well enough to know who's like super busted. Because Lord knows, I think Devil Jin's at least a little busted in some extents, as long as you can pull off his beam moves. Then pretty much any freaking Namco boss in Tekken is usually somewhat busted. I mean, look at True Ogre, the freaking, I think it was Azazel in Tekken 7. Jinpachi for sure in Tekken 6, man. He ticked me off too bad because he had this move that would stun you and put you in like the stun state. But because Tekken is such like a freeform system, like you can actually hit people while they're still on the ground, like easily. There's no like special move to do that. It just happens. So all of a sudden, if the AI got really screwed with you, as soon as it knocked you down, before you really had a time to react, he would actually do that stun move, stand you up, and then screw you over. It was bad. I had a
lot of quarters. A lot of quarters were wasted.
Oh, I almost broke a controller on Tekken 6 because of that on a few occasions. And then Azazel was a boss that he was big, so he didn't actually have a block animation or a capability to block. He would just randomly basically block and just not take damage. Oh. Just, it would just happen. You'd do a combo and all of a sudden one hit in the middle of it just wouldn't connect because he's technically randomly blocking.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, he was super annoying as well. So yeah, like I said, Namco bosses tend to be aggravating. Which also applies to Soul Calibur, of course. A lot of those guys are aggravating too.
Nightmare.
God. How about Night Terror?
Yes.
The hidden boss. Oh my God, Night Terror. Jesus.
It's like, what did we do? What did we do to make you so angry at us?
Then of course, classically, like freaking Shao Kahn, but like,
Goro.
Yeah, any fighting game that has its start in an arcade is designed to screw you over. Mm-hmm. Because, well, they have to make money through the arcade, so they have to get you to start putting those quarters in. So how do they do that? Input reading AI that is extraordinarily difficult, but will randomly let you in because, well, you have to have a chance or else you wouldn't spend so many quarters. Because if it was just outright impossible, you'd stop spending quarters, so you have to feel like you have a chance. So yeah, any old fighter like 1990 to like early 2000 era is nonsense when talking about like freaking bosses and crap because again they're kind of quarter munchers. But yeah,
they solved the purpose. They served a plan, and that was to get you to put quarters in, and then right before you were going, fuck this, I'm out, you would have them, they would drop.
Yeah, exactly. So you're like, oh, all right, cool. I just made it past this. I must be getting better. No, the AI decided you could win. Mm-hmm. All right, and he mentions. All right, he mentions final question, but you get one power: unlimited strength or unlimited speed. Which do you choose, Buster?
Oh, man, see. Now, it's gut instinct. A lot of people would say I'm probably going to go with strength,
mm-hmm.
but I'm actually going to go with speed because if you can't hit me, you can't. If you can't hit me, you can't hit me.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Myself, I found kind of a loophole in this question. Like pretty much immediately as I read it, it's like I know my answer, and that's unlimited strength for a reason. Because of course it's unlimited strength. You lift everything, you got no problem with anything.
Yeah.
That's all good and cool. But one thing that Man of Steel showed us is if you do indeed have unlimited strength, let's just say you like punch the air to start flying. I mean, if your legs are so strong and you kick off, you're naturally going to have better speed. So it may not be unlimited speed, but you still get like a variety. You can actually still get a variety of things, just unlimited strength.
That's the same with speed. Because I'm assuming your body is adapted to it, so you're not like breaking your limbs as you run.
That's also the real catch.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
if I ran super fast, my ACL explodes off my leg. Is that what happened? I'm assuming my body has the ability to withstand the forces at work.
Yeah, I would assume that because at that point in time, unlimited strength would be useless. I mean, you try to go lift something, all of a sudden you like break every bone in your body just from the act of trying to lift it.
Your muscle tissue just rips off your bone every time you use your power. I mean, it's like, that sounds like a terrible fucking...
Exactly.
That sounds terrible.
That's just a life of torture.
Yeah. It's like Mr. Glass from Unbreakable. You know? I'm a genius, but if you look at me hard enough, my bones will break.
Right. And then he followed up a few hours later, actually, he lied. With popularity in Fortnite, which I've actually heard about this just before, there has been a recent trend of parents paying for coaching for their kids to become professional gamers. Do you feel this will be a continuing trend of parents moving their kids away from other hobbies such as sports, martial arts, and music and pushing them into gaming and esports?
Yes.
I think this... Now, when I think of, like, at first when I read the article, it's like, really? You're paying for tutors so your kid can get better at playing video games? Really? It's like, are you that? Like, come on. But at the same time, what this does is, I guess we can actually thank, the super successful Twitch people. Like, love them or hate them. I mean, Ninja garnered attention to the streaming format in such a way that really not a lot of people have. But what this is doing is this is kind of validating professional gaming. Because, I mean, if parents are actually, like, seeing this as, a way of, like, income, then, I mean, it's just one step closer of stripping away the taboo of, esports not being, like, sports, essentially.
I mean, plus, you're not getting head injuries.
I know, right? I mean, sure, you definitely need a gym workout to accompany a professional gaming lifestyle, or else you're going to end up being like 400 pounds. But which I'm actually kind of surprised. There's a lot of professional gamers, especially nowadays, that actually aren't out of shape. I'm legitimately surprised about that. I mean, sure, when you look at least half the devs, they can be kind of chunky. But like a lot of like the newer professional like gamers, like they're at least in line of like really taking care of themselves, and that's actually really happy for me to see. Is that people, there's a lot of people still conscious about kind of taking care of themselves, basically, as they're doing this.
Well, yeah.
Which is actually a better freaking, it's evidence of awareness that a lot of freaking office workers have nowadays, even. Because there aren't, if you're a paper pusher, I mean, there's a really good chance you're not in shape.
It's a fairly good chance, yeah.
Yeah. But, I'm actually really happy to see, like I said, it might be silly to some people, but at the same time, like I said, it's stripping away that taboo and really, opening up esports to being like, a central thing, which, super cool. So, yeah. I know he might have probably been expecting like some berating answer to this, and people with the kind of income that can support, getting tutors and crap. I mean, if you want to get better at PvP, we know a guy.
Yeah, I can.
I mean, I don't know if he's taking new students, but I mean, King Koala has taught quite a few people.
Yeah. I can point you in a direction.
I know, right? So, I mean, like I said, it's not like new practice whatsoever. I mean, people, have been offering advice and support for getting better at video games. So I mean, like I said, just seeing it so like it's a parent like teaching their kids. I mean, good lord, it makes that thing that and just the taboo around video games itself. Also, it's like sure the like video games are getting kind of like some negative press right now for increasing violence and such, but come on, not everything can be blamed on a video game. People have been trying to do that for years. I mean, the ESRB was even made because freaking Mortal Kombat was so bloody. Which, if you look at it now, like,
it's nothing.
Really?
And then they gave the finger and was like, fine, we'll do friendships. How about that?
I know, right? It's like, you don't even have to finish people. And it's like, oh, it's too violent. You have to kill people. It's like, we have friendships. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a thing. But yeah, it's just, yeah, so I mean, yeah, if your kid just wants to like grow up and be a video game star, let him be a video game star. Essentially, I mean, and like I said, it's good seeing like that's becoming like a mainstream thought pattern. And that is GG Legends.
Wow.
Not super hefty, but some nice like thought provokers and such. And of course, if you have your own answers, get in touch with us. Let us know what you think. If you actually, especially, I definitely wouldn't mind like those into fighting games. I wouldn't mind hearing, of course, opinions and such on who you think an overpowered character. Because, like I said, the Eddie Gordo thing, he definitely is. If you have a low skill bracket or a low skill, he can be OP as crap. Because he has like natural mix-ups in his moves that, you know, a casual player just won't be able to see. But again, if you're up against someone that knows that's actually up there, it's not going to work. I found out the hard way. I actually knew a guy that was super, super good at Tekken. He was almost like, he was about like tournament level. And I couldn't touch him. But of course, he did main Eddie Gordo, though, which is possible. It's just, you can't get away with shenanigans, because I used to think the same thing. I thought Eddie Gordo was like just too strong. Like I said, you get in there and actually fight against people to know how to handle them. And yeah, you're put in your place very fast. Which is why I like playing my boy Lee Chowlon.
And if you're a Warlock main, tell us what your exotic loadout would be.
Oh yeah, for sure. And of course, anybody. I mean,
well, yeah.
If you got a better combo than we got, please let us hear, because that's, like I said, hearing the busted Doomfang paired with Saint 14 is like, oh yeah. I don't think hunters have anything like that, but oh my god.
It was a tie between that or the Mask of the Quiet One, just for synergy.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact that I thought like, okay, you can't see, and then I throw a shield, and I get more shield, and then you can't see. Rinse, repeat, you're dead.
Yeah, that is a nice combo.
I mean, I can break a game, trust me.
Oh yeah. But yeah. Also, yeah, like I said, going back, for those that don't know, for those that won't be able to legendary your Solstice of Heroes armor before listening to this, once you get to the legendary variants, you can't infuse it. Literally, if you get to legendary quality and you buy extra sets of armor, they don't even show up as an option to infuse into the armor you're trying. So there's actually no way to like, because I was going to save up some material, like some gunsmith materials, just buy a bunch of spare sets of armor and then throw it into my other armors, like just to bring the legendaries up to 380 and then exotics that I use regularly to 400. But like I said, they're not, the Solstice of Hero armor is not even selectable to be infused into things. So yeah, the 400 raid weapon like strat work there.
They thought of that.
Yeah, they did. Which, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. It just also kind of sucks because I thought I had a sneaky idea, but no, not really.
They kind of had the thought. I'm sure they were like, so what are people going to do to try to break this?
Yeah, they definitely had that thought, and it's been pre-planned out. So the tomatoes on them catching that. But yeah, I think about the other thing. For those that did, because I mean, speaking of GG, I mean, a huge shout out to Gorilla Golf for reposting on Twitter the first of my Paladin series, which definitely means a lot considering, he's not even like he hasn't even tried it yet. Is kind of skeptical on it. Not a huge Paladins fan, but I do appreciate like that attention that you've
the love
tried to put out there. The love there. I mean, it was interesting to see that. A really awesome surprise also. Like I said, the next in the series, like I said, I'm still actively like working on scripts for things. The rest of the gateways primarily, I'm trying to like go ahead and get all those scripts ready. The clips and stuff will be like too hard to gather. Now that the format is basically much cleaner, because the first video is like 20-some minutes, but the rest of them might be anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, because it'll just be covering the basics of how the characters work, and that's about it. It's just like the basic mentality behind these characters and how like their talents work, and like the basic thought pattern of how their talents like usually work in range. Which, like I said, the great example of how that's going to be is in the Victor video. So like once I get there, or once I get to his talents and like the specific stuff, it's like that's pretty much going to be the format going forward. It's not meant to be, this isn't Paladin's How to Get Good series. This is just Paladin's. Here's the thought pattern of the design of this champion type series. Anywhere, because there's plenty of people, like there's plenty of professional players that stream Paladins. So if you really want to know like the top tier strats, watch these people. Like learn from those people. Like once you get the basics down, start watching these like I'm not sure if I think Thiel is it like Thiel. I'm not sure if he still streams Paladins so much. Because I haven't actually like looked, but he was like he's a pro player that streamed a lot of Paladins, and he had a lot of like he was Grandmasters when they introduced the new ranking system like very quickly.
Oh yeah, I'm quite sure.
For sure, but I mean like he would actually bring like his other like Grandmaster's friends and play like comp lobbies and crap. But he's definitely like those people are definitely the type of people to, and like I said, there's no streaming and such, but there's plenty of sources of the get good variety. But like I said, this is just there aren't that many intro level like guides beyond what high res themselves, because high res themselves like a lot of information about like damage and where they operate came from high res's videos on like how to play damage. And because that's pretty much how I found out the damage mentality and like where you should stay, and like at least they're because it's insights from the dev themselves on how they design these characters, like so in these roles. And again, one thing that the video is like what the video said is like damage has you basically use your entire team as a meat shield while you're just pegging away at the enemies while they're trying to get through your team. So it's like, oh, I get that now. Because again, learning Victor at first, his sprint lets him be like almost like a fling, and you can like get in super fast. But that's kind of playing outside of the intended range of damage, which, like I said, I didn't know that before. So this video series was kind of a learning experience for me too. But yeah, like I said, there'll be more. There's going to be like a general frontline video coming up, general support, and general flank, and those will cover Lex, Ruckus, and Genos. Then I'll cover, because I believe Cassie is the other free damage. So yeah, so then I'll cover Cassie, and after that, I'm not sure who I'm going to cover first. If I'm going to go like from first to last, but try and mix in some of the newer champions, so that way it's a little more kind of relevant before the champions get too old. But yeah, there will be more coming.
And not to mention, you won't have a lack of clips, considering both of us play paladins quite often.
Oh, for sure.
You know
And yeah, even if the clips suck, I mean, because I even warn in the video, it's like I play like versus AI, and that's where all these clips are going to come from. Because like when I get onto someone like Drogos, I'm still not confident in my Drogos play because I still don't quite have like this mentality. But I mean, I'm starting to do better against AI with them, but that doesn't mean I'm going to dare try my hand at taking him against any living opponent that's going to see through my basic freaking tactics with him. So yeah, so people that know how to counter Drogos, I'm screwed against because I really don't know. I don't have that grasp on Drogos. I'm not good with them. Oh god, but yeah, so yeah, like they're all going to be versus AI just to like try and show off the basic strategies of them. But yeah,
I can tell you that I'm excited, and I cannot wait for two characters in particular. Ruckus and Torvald. Because I have some clips of Torvald of me launching entire teams off of the map. Because they don't realize I have a super, and I'm literally baiting you to come around the corner. Just line them up and be like...
But yeah, that, and I'm also taking... because for those of our audience that do listen, like Crucible Radio, one of the recent guests had the very simple advice of just making sure you read what your weapons can do, like the exact perks and everything, and or your abilities and all. Read what they can do and understand what they can do. So that's pretty much the entry line of what this series is I'm going through and I'm making sure you understand what these weapons can do, or what these champions can do, what their weapons can do, Also, I did kind of screw up a little with Victor. Actually, I screwed up a couple times, but one time I didn't like overtly correct. Because the way I record these, I ended up recording the script first, and then applying clips to the good takes of each script section. Mm-hmm. And sadly, because when I first went into the shooting gallery with Victor, it's like, oh, yeah, I can toss this frag nade about 200 units, and it'll land like pretty much at the enemy's feet. Okay, cool. But then as I was gathering the clip, like really portray that like a little more smoothly, I found out that if you arc it, I mean, he can actually throw over 250 units, which is very long distance. So that's why in the video I ended up shooting the 250 mark, because like it's actually further. Yeah.
Well, now you know how to read those marks on the wall. Not a lot of people know that.
That's true. Like not people are. I mean, no matter what, like a lot of, because I've watched like quite a few people like covering the pros and cons of paladins, and one thing that's definitely like across the board is people say paladins has tutorials and such that teach you how to play the game. Mm-hmm. Which is why I didn't cover like the basics of like each game mode too in detail. I gave their objectives. Why? Because Paladins has an excellent tutorial of like how things go through and how to activate and things like that. And then there's the shooting gallery, which Smite has, like, their like little practice area has varieties of situations for you to be able to get into. And it really helps, like, with like, oh, what's the max range that, you can shoot this person at? Well, there's this giant alleyway with freaking from 250 to 200 to like 150, 100 and crap, or it might go by 25. No, it goes by 50s. Like, those are ranges, and those are the in-game units. Whether they be meters, feet, whatever. But yeah, they clearly, you can clearly learn, at least from eye-line visuals, of what your maximum ranges are, and what your like peak optimal ranges are, and stuff like that. And then there's like another section that has like these shooting gallery pips, I guess would be the easiest way to say it.
Yeah,
where it's just, all they do, they just walk back and forth. What is that for? See how well you can track a moving target, basically. And then there's, like I showed in the video, there's a Fernando, a Ying, and a Sky that just stands in one area. What does that show you? It shows you how well you can melt down those classes. Because Sky is low health, Ying is, I think, high health for support, and then Fernando is one of. It's technically the highest health frontline, I believe. Because Torvald can take more damage.
That's because he...
Exactly, because he has like a built-in shield mechanic, so he does technically have more health. But as far as actual health goes, because I think he only has like a couple hundred more sustainable damage than Fernando has with his full shields. But yeah, Fernando is the just base health in the entire game. So that way you can get in there and you get a feel for, how quickly or how slow you can damage like opponents. Oh yeah, and then there's the auto fire Cassie section, which you can activate and just. There's a Fernando there getting shot by one auto fire Cassie bot, and then there's another one that shoots at a wall. So you can take damage and see how things heal you, or you can see how well speed abilities can heal one attacker. So, like I said, they just have a lot of tools that can give you a really good feel. And I think it's account level 5-ish, where you even play against human opponents.
Yeah, it's all bots until you get to level 5.
Yeah. And then you start going into like general population and casual.
Yeah, which a lot of people are like, "Oh man, I'm crushing. What level are you? I'm level 3. You're playing against bots, bud."
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's really good. Like, as far as the super basics, Paladins definitely covers that for you, for sure. But as far as like really getting a feel for the characters, like I said, at least for like for roles, like Hi-Rez on their YouTube has a lot of good, really like basic tutorials of like general mentality for their roles, but other than that, there's no like high-res supplement of like super basic tactics for each champion, which is a crazy undertaking because it's like some 30 or so champions. With more being added, I think they're teasing somebody. Like, I don't know if they're teasing another character or a new event. I'm hoping it's a new event. Their Twitter has recently been teasing, but they've been starting to tease something else now. It's like, come on, guys, we just got Koga.
Yeah,
I thought you guys were going to slow down.
I wish let Koga get the new off of his ass before you.
That's why I said I'm hoping it's a new event. Which, the way they've been kind of going, it's usually like, it's like event champion, and then Furia was an event with a champion, and then Khan was an event that led to the champion. Mm-hmm. So Koga did a specific event himself, but I think the next thing they're coming out with is an event. So yeah, that should be fun times. And
I do like how every event, the event is focused on a champion.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely kind of hoping this is like Koga focused because I would not mind like some kind of like Thousand Hands feud war with between Koga. The original lore for Zen has him staying out of like picking a side because for his thieves guild or whatever, it's more profitable to play both sides. But now that Koga, his lost apprentice, is officially sided with the paladins, kind of that doesn't create like just another, like maybe he might target the paladins more, or maybe if he'll side with the magistrate just to try and take out Koga. And I would love an event like showcasing that, like the grudge between Koga and Zen. Because from what we could tell, at least from Koga's side, there's some bad blood between Koga and Zen.
Oh yeah.
So I would certainly not mind seeing that in an event. And of course, their event skins have been super sick so far. Oh my god. Yeah, please give us more of those.
Oh yeah. I mean, their battle pass skins are dope.
They are. And oh my god, that freaking Fernando surfing emote in the current battle pass. Oh my god, that thing looks amazing and kind of awful.
It's damn time.
Yeah, because it's like, what are you doing? But yeah,
I mean,
so I'm definitely, like I said, it may not be a super weekly scheduled thing, but it's definitely not leaving my mind. I'm not abandoning it. Like I have been in so many other things, that it's definitely going to be continued because, like I said, I'm still working on scripts. That's going to be the lowdown to these videos, is the fact that they're not just like me reacting to a gameplay. It's not like a let's play. Like Final Fantasy, I just play the game, commenting on what I saw and commenting on random ideas in my head. But for this, there's like a goal, and I haven't really done that super often. That it definitely needs to involve a script, or else, well, you listen to this podcast, I have a lot of uhs and such when I'm like thinking and speaking and speaking off the top of my brain, essentially, like just then. And I don't think that's, at least for a guide type thing, that's not really good. And again, you listen to this podcast and I'm way too tangential to like do this kind of crap. At least with writing, it's like I'm on a completely different section, which if I was recording it live, I would just entirely break up the flow and re-reference some old thing. But now I can apply that thing to its proper section and get through it. So it's, like I said, I like, for what it is, it's definitely my preferred methodology, but it's definitely going to give it some time, like between each video. Yeah. But I'm hoping that I can like complete scripts and like do maybe at least one, maybe two or so videos at a time. Hopefully. Because I'll definitely also be using like my work breaks at lunch or be capable of using breaks at work to work on scripts as well. At least basic information and such to help kind of like skeleton it out.
Well, dude, I'm excited. I'm happy for you, man. Like I said, I watched it but Raven, what about this? Dude, I laughed so fucking hard, man. I laughed out loud at night. And so loud. The missus rolled over and goes, what the fuck are you laughing at? I'm like, he did this weird voice. She was like, okay, cool. Shut up.
Yeah. Also, legitimately took me like 5 minutes to settle on a voice. So also shout outs to our friend Elmer Fudd for helping put that voice in my recent memory. Yeah, because otherwise it was a finger voice, and I didn't think that really fit so well in most circumstances. But yeah.
Also, side note, I love how that is also a term everyone's using now.
Oh no, right?
I'm like, I didn't mean that. I'm so sorry. Reddit's not all bad. Sometimes I use Reddit.
But no, they're not all bad. But yeah, you're definitely going to get your keyboard warrior Cheeto finger guys.
I'm so offended. They cannot have a conversation.
God. It keeps coming back. It is funny.
It's never funny.
It's never not funny, because, I mean, at the very least, there's a few hundred devices, like, consistently that listen to us. I mean, if we can't hold a conversation, what are you guys doing listening to us? What's your problem?
My favorite insult I've ever heard happened happened yesterday. Someone said, and a guy was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I make you stab your straw through your Capri Sun all the way?" I fucking died, dude. I couldn't help it. I was just like, "Oh man, that's so good." Did I make you stab through the bottom of your Capri Sun? I was like, "Fuck you. That's so good." I'm like, "Hey, that's mine. Just to let you know, I'm stealing it. It's mine."
Yeah.
Because you can remember that as a kid when he stabbed through your Capri Sun. It just pissed you off, and now as an adult, think about having a Capri Sun. Don't worry, you'll get the shits thinking about it. Because it's effectively sugar water.
Right.
It's sugar water color is what it is.
So you go back and try to drink some of the stuff. It's like, how? How?
Do you guys have these down south, like, we call them little hugs, but they're like barrels of...
Oh, yeah, we've had hugs. Yeah, or at least we used to have hugs. Okay. But yeah, I used to definitely, like, hugs was my jam, man. The freaking tinfoiled, freaking... Yeah! Barely adhered top, yeah.
Yeah, and they just taste... And it's just basically sugar watercolor.
Yeah.
When people ask you, what flavor hug you want? Purple. And it's like, It doesn't matter. It's the same fucking flavor.
Pretty much. There was not a huge distinction of flavors between colors.
Ooh, this orange tastes good. You sure it's orange or is it red? It's red.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean...
It's nummy. All right, cool. It's nummy.
They both also kind of taste blue, so, you know.
Yeah, everything tastes blue after you drink the blue one. You're like, oh, blue is the base, I guess.
Oh, God. But yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like, I haven't seen him much more, but yeah. That definitely used to be my jam.
Yeah, I went and saw my godson. He was like, Uncle. And he was like, here, take this. And I was like, oh, cool, what is this? And he was like, it's juice. I'm like, this isn't juice. This is just sugar. Are you a hummingbird? What the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
But it was, oh my God, man. Like, I drank it, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get diabetes. Thanks. Go for Brimley in the house.
Diabetes. Oh, so sad that even after like a decade, that still hasn't went anywhere.
No. It's not gonna.
No. It's just a little too easy.
It's super low-hanging fruit, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I think that's about it. We got through another round of easy peasy unsolicited topics this week. Thank you both to Drafty and Gorilla Golf.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's always fun to get your topics, because it's like, what are they going to ask us this week?
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, because Drafty isn't often, but he usually comes in with some good ringers. And then Gorilla Golf is like, how do you think of so many questions?
I think he writes them down. He probably just writes them down.
He might. I'm curious. Here's a question for you, Gorilla. I mean, do you write them down, or is it just literally off as you're staring at our Discord page? You know, I want to hear these answers. So yeah, here's a question for you, sir. But yeah, but like I said, I mean, we say probably almost, I know not too much for us, but our little community of people. I mean, because sure, when we started, like at least by now, I'm trying to get hooked up on numbers, but yeah, I probably thought we'd be bigger, but at the same time, we have a much cooler community than I could have ever hoped for. Mm-hmm. And you guys are awesome for your support, for your questions. Like, it's just super amazing. Each and every one of you. I just want to thank all of you. Like I said, of course, you know, the common shout outs to Gorilla Golf, like Burning Wing and Bit Dead and all those great guys, but I mean, really, I mean, without all of, I mean, yeah, sure, if it was just those 5 guys, we might actually still do the show, but I mean, I doubt we'd have the, even with those awesome guys, I doubt we'd have the pull to keep doing like these freaking 3-hour long podcasts. But knowing that we're still like consistently listening to like a core group of people,
yeah,
you know, you're all amazing for that, and thank you for still being here. Because whether you get in touch with us or not, like just what you do by listening is enough of support that we could ever ask for.
Putting a link out, hey, awesome job, you know, these guys, you know, BitDead does that, or just saying like, you know, hey, I listened to you guys on my way to home from work. I laughed. You know, also your story made me giggle, or Des, you know, you said something that made me change the way I play, or whatever, you know, the way I think.
Yeah,
that's.
I mean, that's like best case scenario, really.
That's everything. Yeah, that's everything to me. At least to me. I mean, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, Des and I have gotten I mean, you know, we've gotten super close over these 2 years, and I mean,
sure.
You know, I don't think I could. Yeah, I mean, you know, with Biz leaving and all that, I mean, that was a blow to us, but
it was.
It'll never change.
Yeah, I mean, we've hit a stride. I mean, yeah, we have considered like a lot of people in replacements, but at the same time, it's like most importantly, we want this to feel natural, and I think in giving the space to make sure, because I mean, come on, it happens. Like when people are replaced, I mean, the person replacing one might be negatively impacted. Because I mean, it happens in TV shows all the time. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at the original CSI series. Once Grissom left,
yeah,
everyone was awful. Even Lawrence Fishburne's character couldn't get headway because he was replacing Grissom. But so yeah, there's always like that possibility of negative connotation. So, you know, we were advocate of not wanting to rush, and then we ended up finding that, and it's like everyone was still supporting. And it's like, all right, cool. I mean, we can keep it like this. That's fine.
Plus, we never not have a a list of guests, potential guests,
oh, yeah, for sure,
who could come on. You know, we say all the time, you have an open invitation, and there's people who I don't think understand what we mean when we say, yeah, you have an open invitation.
Seriously,
no, for sure.
Open invitation.
If you're free on a Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, let me know. Come on in.
Or we might be able to flex some Saturday evenings.
Yeah.
You know, life depending, but we're flexible on Saturday. Or at least easily flexible on Saturday. But yeah, I mean, when we submission, it's a literal thing. Like community guest, we don't care if you don't stream.
I don't care if you play. You don't have to play Destiny.
I mean, come on. Yeah, like if you listen to us and you just want to talk to us, come on. Like shoot us a line and be like, hey, can I get in on this? Like, go ahead. It's like that's one thing that actually blew my mind. The fact that our first guest, actual legitimate guest, was a community guy. Oh god, and I'm getting it confused. Was it Strategy? Or was it? No, it was Blinker. There we go. Blinker. Yeah, Blinker. God, for some reason nowadays I get those two confused in my head. But yeah, so I mean, our first guest and like sometimes our most recurring guests are our community guys, and I freaking love that, man. I love having you guys on, like being able to talk with you on, like that. It's a great pleasure, and like I said, I can never thank y'all enough for what you do for us, to keep this little passion project going. Because like I said, without y'all, yeah, me and Buster will probably still be able to play games, but without you amazing guys, I mean, they're just kind of not be a reason, sort of. But you guys are staying consistent with us, and Destiny can literally die tomorrow. We'll still be here. We might have some rough friction finding a new game to center around. But
I don't think we would.
Not really.
I think we already know what the game we'd switch to.
I know, right? It might become a full-on Paladins podcast. I apologize ahead of time.
If Bungie was like, "Fuck you guys, we're out. Destiny's coming with us." You know, we just logged in. It's like, and you hit X, and there's just Deej with his fingers up, like, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you." You know, it's like, "Welcome to the RngCast. This week in Paladins."
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, there's definitely a variety. We'll be, like I said, no matter what, around for as long as you guys. I know, right? But we'll be around for as long as you guys can tolerate us. And good Lord, a bunch of you have been here for 2 years, 2+ years, listening to these two idiots gab on about freaking video games. But and other things. But yeah, we will never deny like what Destiny. I mean, Destiny was the game that brought us together. Like no matter, because we've always said the warnings like one day we may not be interested in Destiny. That's just human for taste to evolve or for things to change. I mean, come on, your taste buds change supposedly once every like 7 years. I mean, your taste literally change. Like your mentality towards people can change. I mean, we're human. We're fickle like that. Things, but like I said, you've stuck with us for this long. Thank you so very much. But like I said, if it comes down to the point, it's like maybe Destiny isn't our game anymore. Like I said, we'll still be around for those of you that want to still be around. We will not abandon you. We are here with you. We will be here. Until y'all are long sick of us.
And when there was one set of footprints in this hand, that was you by yourself because I don't go on the beach.
Sharks in those waters. You see what that shark did to Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah, bit his... I watch that movie just to see him get bit. I do. I'm not gonna lie. Why lie? Why ask why when how is so much more fun?
That was like so... That was such an out of the blue thing too.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
He was just for this giant exposition thing, and all of a sudden, what?
Like, goddamn, they killed Sam L. Jackson. Oh man.
Oh god. Yeah.
I'm 75% done my super kills now, so I got a good lead considering I started yesterday.
Yeah. It's not bad progress at all. Definitely took me, I think, a couple of days, like after work, for a couple hours, or actually 3 days, I think in total, with the after work stuff, to get into my blues. But yeah. Any like shows or anything you're watching?
I started rewatching the show Community.
Cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun show to watch. It's funny. Yeah, I mean, work's been kicking my ass pretty much.
I mean, that's completely fair. Completely fair. I think the only thing I just recently rewatched The Waterboy. Oh my god, that is such a good movie. It's just it's funny, and I like those like timeless comedies, like the original Ghostbusters. Is still funny as crap. Like when you go back and watch it, but I don't know, because apparently one of my top picks that Netflix recently told me about is like top pick for you, watch Charmed, and it's like I would love to, but that's like 8 seasons. Oh god! So I haven't dipped my toes into that yet, but it might happen soon.
I'm about to say, man, you might just have to take the jump, because I mean, sometimes it's just the best thing to do is just to say fuck it and get into a show again, even though it has a shit ton of seasons.
Oh yeah, I mean, good god, because I know back in when I was working second shift in like my original factory job, I'd get off, and I think it was TNT, I think, or something. one of those channels that starting early morning, they did like 2 hours of Charm and 2 hours of Angel.
Yeah.
And they were literally going through the entire, like, it was literally from episode 1 to the end of the season. So I watched all of that like every day, and I'll just watch it just to see like the season progress. Mm-hmm. So I've definitely seen it like from start to finish. But yeah, I might actually dip in again, even though God, it's gonna take so long.
But we promised everyone a round 2.
Here we are.
We are a podcast of our word.
We try. We do try.
We try.
Like, the only thing that will screw us over is life. And that's literally it. Like, life will get in the way. Life will find a way to kind of screw over our best intentions. But it's definitely not like out of, love loss or anything, or like a lack of motivation. You guys like keep us plenty motivated to keep doing this. So yeah, it's not any of that. It's not like, content fatigue or anything like that. It's just, it's real.
It's regular fatigue.
Yes,
it's not content fatigue. It's just regular ass fatigue. Like,
exactly. It's just normal body fatigue.
I'm fucking 36, dude. I'm feeling it.
No, right?
Fuck me, man.
Like I'm gonna eventually have to freaking schedule an appointment at a freaking chiropractor to fix like some of my back issues.
Oh man.
I know I'm gonna have to, but at the same time, it's like old people have regular chiropractor visits. Oh, I don't want.
Someone said to me, "You should go do acupuncture." I'm like, "You should wake up." I'm not doing that shit. Get the fuck out of here. You should go see a chiropractor, or hear me out on this. You should go fuck yourself.
It's like, stop it.
I don't do needles. Go fuck yourself.
I know, right? Like, no. I'd have a tattoo by now. I have a severe, like...
That's the thing. I have tattoos. I have a shit ton of tattoos. It's different for some strange reason.
Not for me.
Don't panic like I do when there's a needle in the room.
Yeah, like, we definitely share that, but for some reason, I don't differentiate a tattoo gun. I just see it as a needle moving very fast, and it's like, nope. Because I could probably, grit and bear through, like, the pain, because, me and pain are no strangers to one another.
We're good buddies.
Yeah, not that I enjoy it, but Lord knows I'm not. Like I said, I'm just no stranger to it. But that I could see not being an issue, but it's the needle part. I can't get past that. You call me punk, I'd agree. I'm definitely a punk for being scared of needles, but it doesn't change the fact that I still am.
Yeah, I don't fuck with needles. This is episode 115, right? Let's make sure
this is 115.
115, part 2.
Pardon.
Des, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you if this is their first time listening, and you pick the first time you listen at episode 115, but if you do, and this is your first time listening, thank you for choosing to listen to the RngCast, and welcome to the revolution.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely stand. We do hope we're entertaining for you, because, we love our longtime listeners, but we also love the new guys, too.
So tell everybody where they can find you, buddy.
But yeah, also shout out to one of my raid group, Exodus, that has started listening to us, but he is doing a route of starting from as early as his podcasting app will go, which is like apparently episode like 13.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, he's telling me about things that we recorded like a year and a half ago. Like, he's like, you were talking about this, and it's like, dude, that was so long ago. I don't remember.
So what you're telling me is he's going to ask you about the gummy bear story soon. Okay.
Possibly. Who freaking knows? But yeah, I told him, it's like, I started shouting out a little bit. He's like, what episode? It's like, crap, I don't know, because I have bad memory. I legitimately don't know the number. And he's like, okay. And so he just started listening from the start, and he told me, it's like, I started listening to hear the shout out, but now I'm hooked, and it's like, hey. So if you make it here, Jesus Christ, man. It's like, Jesus, you made a long journey. But can, as always, find me on Twitter at DES_Raven. Definitely add me all you want. Don't be like vague, because especially on the weekend, I don't like keep an eye on my Twitter. So the best way to like converse, at least on the weekends, at me all day, so that way I can get in touch with you. Unless I'm playing, and then it might be a little late. But weekdays, I like keep track of my Twitter and this, that, and the other, so I might pop in early for conversation and such. But there's that, and also I can plug this now because, like I said, I have scheduled content coming out for it. For those that don't absolutely despise paladins, I have the To the Crosswind series, which it's a weird title, but also like Through the Looking Glass might have been a little too on the nose, and I have a thing about naming things, and I suck at it. But you can find the series on my YouTube. You can search me out, Death Switch Raven. Death Switch is one word, Raven is another. Yeah, you can search me out through there because, I mean, again, with the Victor video, I ended up gaining 3 or 4 subscribers, so thank you guys. But still not enough to give me a custom URL, which I really don't care because my name is unique enough to search out pretty quickly on YouTube, even giving subpar searching that is YouTube sometimes. So that's all cool and good. And besides, also you can add me on Twitter, or you can find me on our Discords or several community Discords, and you can just ask me for a link, and I will toss you that link through DM, or if it's our Discord, I'll just repost the freaking video on our Discord. I may not be so apt to do that on other people's Discords, but yeah. And Buster, where can they find the link to that Discord?
I'll be pinned on top of our Twitter at the RngCast. You can also email us, therngcast@gmail.com. We love to hear from you. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/therngcast. Maybe next week, instead of doing a show, Des, we can do a podcast. We could do a special episode for the patrons. You can find me, Buster Knuckle, on Twitter at BusterKnuckle13. That's BusterKnuckle13. And on PSN at BlisterLister113. And with that being said, this is the second time I get to say this today. This is the RngCast. We're double out.
Later, man.
And I get to say it for real this time, pulling my ear. See you all next week.